Hey, welcome back to episode 3 of Rhythm and News. I am Kenneth Cope.
And I'm Lucas McCoy.
And today, actually for the next couple of videos, we've decided to try to do a series. And we're going to do that series about tone.
Yeah, we decided one episode just ain't going to cut it.
No, because I mean, there's so many little nuances that go into what makes up your tone. What makes you sound like that. And there's a lot of different aspects of that, of whether you're talking about guitar, whether you're talking about bass, and even when you're talking about drums. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, so there's no way we could do it in one episode unless y'all want to sit here and watch for like 5 hours, and I don't think we want to do that either.
No.
So we're going to break this up into kind of segments, little subgenres, so to speak. So today, what are we going to talk about, Luke?
Mainly, we're going to focus on like guitars and just a couple different aspects about guitars. Like we'll talk about solid body guitars versus hollow body guitars, single coil pickups versus humbuckers.
And the whole idea of this is we're not going to get into the whole scientific impedance and all those different things. We just wanted to do something that if you're a viewer of this and you see this and you live somewhere, here in the Upper Cumberland, or even if you don't, but primarily if you do live somewhere here in the Upper Cumberland, Cookeville, Crossville, Sparta, that kind of thing, and maybe you're having some issues, or, maybe you're looking for a guitar. Maybe you're like, man, I want this kind of tone, but I just don't know where to go. Because experience gives you that. And, between the two of us, we have some experience with that. And there's many players around this area that do as well. So I urge you, if you are looking for something like that, go talk to somebody. Go find a local musician that when you hear them live, you're like, man, I just love that tone. And go talk to them like, hey, man, what are you running?
How do you get your sound?
Right.
Yeah.
Go do that. And that's kind of what we're wanting to do with this.
Yes.
We're just going to give you some insight of kind of some stuff that Lucas runs. If you've seen Southern Sunrise live, or Three Penny Nickel, or the bands that Dirt Poor, and you playing with Seth, and then me otherwise, if you've seen us live playing and you just really love that tone, we're going to kind of show you a little bit of what we feel makes that up.
Yes. So I say let's just jump on into it. One of the first things is what kind of guitar, and what we mean by that is solid body versus hollow body. It's kind of self-explanatory. Like, this guitar is a solid chunk of wood. Well, it's a few different pieces of wood, but it's
probably 3.
I would assume.
Yeah, it probably has a mid ridge and then 2 sides.
Yeah. This is a 2003. I think it's 2001. I got this in 03. This is an American Stratocaster. My first workhorse, but it is a solid body guitar, which is different than this guitar.
Right. So if you've seen the last episode, you've seen we talked about the guitar a little bit, that I bought off Amazon for $130, right? Brand new.
Fantastic.
Which, by the way, I've played it every show since I bought that. But nonetheless, you can check out that video if you want to see some specs about it a little bit. But this is a semi-hollow guitar, right? So you've got the cutout in the top of here, and this is a empty cavity. Like there's no, it's just air, right? So if I didn't have this plugged in, you would be able to hear almost like an acoustic resonation.
Yes.
Like an acoustic guitar that, like I have hanging behind me here, this blue Takamine. And then the next tier of that is my Schecter that's right here behind me. That guitar, you'll notice it has 2 cutouts on it. It's a hollow body, so that means inside the cavity, it does have the mid ridge where the controls and stuff sit. But other than that, it's just a hollow body. It's self-explanatory, right? It's carved out. So there are some tonal differences between the 3 body styles.
Yes. The best way that I've heard hollow bodies and semi-hollow bodies described, it has a more airy sound.
Right.
and I know that's a buzzword, and it's really hard to stay away from buzzwords.
This pedal off here. So this is just a clean tone. Right now, obviously, we're running through our pedal boards and stuff, so the pickups in this have something to do with it too. But this is just clean, no pedals or anything.
It's got a real nice warm sound.
Right.
Yeah, and about warm to there's going to be more of like a lower frequency, and a little bit more mid-rangey, and that's the way I would describe the warm sound. It's a very nice guitar right here, by the way. Look at this beauty right here. And on the back, it's got a good old set neck. Yeah. But that's like what the semi-hollow sounds like, and this guitar right here, I'm not running any pedals. This is it's got a very different sound to it.
I gotta tune this one real quick. While I'm getting this tuned, Luke, why don't you tell us a little bit about your pickups in that? Let's talk about.
Yeah, that's another really important point to talk about. So the different guitars will have different kinds of pickups. These kinds of pickups, they are what we call single coils. It's just one pickup, and they're wound with wire, and depending on how many wraps, it's how hot the pickups are. But generally, single coils, they can get hot, but they're not as hot as humbuckers because it's just one pickup. A humbucker, which is what's in this guitar, it's literally two pickups wound together. And these, if you're around like fluorescent lights and different kinds of equipment and electronics, these will pick up a hum.
Right.
Which is why a humbucker is better in that aspect, because it's a humbucker. It's supposed to buck the hum, so to speak.
Right. That's the whole point of the name.
Yeah.
So this is the hollow body, right? So we had the semi-hollow, semi-hollow. I do that every time. Semi-hollow sound. You played your solid body, and this is the hollow body. No pedals at all, just straight clean. Right, and what I really like about this guitar is it's got this three-way switch on the back as well, so I can go from electric to electric and acoustic, and then also just straight acoustic. So what you just heard was just straight acoustic, right? So that's using these pickups in the back, right? And we'll talk about those in a minute since we're doing pickups. But this is the blended. Right, so you're getting the hollow body and the pickups in this one. So that's your tonal difference in the three. It all depends on what you're looking for.
If you want to sound like B.B. King, then you're going to want a hollow body guitar. Like, if you're looking for that sound.
Right.
If you're looking for more of a Stevie Ray Vaughan sound, this is what you want. But if you're, looking for your own sound, that can be a never-ending quest.
It can be, because you've got, for instance, your telly that's back here that you had custom made. The pickups in it were hand wound.
Yeah, and
so I mean, there's never going to be another pickup like those pickups.
No.
Yeah. So like he said, he's got single coils in that one. You got 3 single coils, so you can switch between using all 3 of them individually, or you can blend the front 2 or blend the back 2. And that's where your 5-way switch comes into play. In this one, I've got 2 humbuckers in it, and I can do the same with it. I can play either of them individually or blend the 2 of them. But what's neat about this as well is back here on the saddle part, each one of these, where the strings sit on this bridge, are also a pickup. So that's where the acoustic switch comes into play on this guitar. So, yeah, there's all kinds of different pickups. You got piezo pickups if you're doing like a cigar box. You got all kinds of stuff you can do. But the main thing is what kind of tone are you looking for?
if you're wanting a tone that's gonna be more glassy, crystalline, then like single coils would be a really good way to start. Like, and that's on the bridge pickup. It's just got a real clean sound to it.
Right.
Yeah. What if you want a fatter tone or a bigger tone? You're gonna want something like what he's got here. It's just got a bigger sound to it than these, because it's double the output and double the power of one of these wrapped into one.
Right. So that's the basics of the pure basics of pickups and the type of tone that you might be looking for your sound. You know, myself, I prefer the semi-hollow back here behind me. I really love the way that thing sounds. I'm not going to lie for what I get for it. And eventually I'll wind up getting a better quality semi-hollow Telecaster style made just like that. But for now, that one's doing me well.
It's a wonderful guitar.
I've loved it so far. But that being said, you know, what else on the guitar, Luke, can affect our tone?
Well, one thing that not a lot of people think about, and it's almost a no-brainer, but it's this knob right here. This is my volume knob, and you can get a plethora of tones just by. I mean, there is another way to run it besides dimed out. Like this is. That's dimed out, but if I want to clean it up, I'll just see that's a lot cleaner sounding. And that's just by, just dialing the volume back. And the way I use my volume knob a lot is for like rhythm and stuff. Or
right.
I'll just, I won't dime it out. And then when it's time to break a lead, just flip it up and.
Right, you get a little more gain that way too.
Yeah.
A little bit of dirt.
And but like on this guitar, he's got 4 knobs, but 2 of those knobs are actually volume knobs for each individual pickup, like what you would see on a Les Paul or like a Gibson style.
A 335,
guitar. Yeah.
So the way this one works is, as I said, I can flip between straight electric, a blend of electric and acoustic, as I mentioned before. So when I have it in acoustic, the bottom volume knob is the only one that works. Right, so if I strum a chord in the acoustic mode and I turn this down, right, so it goes off, comes back. But if I move the top one, it doesn't affect it at all. Right? So if I go to blend, right, where I'm doing the both, now both volume knobs, you'll hear it didn't go all the way out when I turn that one, right? And if I do the same with this, it still doesn't go all the way out. But if I do both, then now, see, it's gone. So I've got a lot of range with dialing in a specific tone in that setting because I've got 2 different volume knobs and also the tone knobs. I got 2 tone knobs to work with at the same time as well.
And I think we should talk about tone knobs because that's a real nice segue. What do tone knobs do exactly?
So what the tone knob is for, and mine has 2, his has 2. The guitar I started with up here, it only has 1 tone knob, and your Tele back here only has 1 tone knob, right? So it depends on the style of guitar that you get, as we mentioned before, to what that's going to have. So the tone knob's job is whatever pickup you have selected that you're playing through, right? So we mentioned that you could separate them or blend them. And what happens is the tone goes from being real crisp to being real muddy. More of a low-pass filter, I guess, is more of how it acts. More because a low-pass filter cuts out the highs, and a high-pass filter cuts out the lows. I don't know why they named them that way, but that
makes no sense.
That's what it is. But yeah, more of a low-pass filter because it cuts out as you dial it back. It cuts out the highs.
Yeah. And we'll do examples like this guitar. I'm on the neck pickup because the neck pickup on a Strat sounds really good. That's the tone dialed all the way up. Now that's maybe about half. It's not as crisp like you said sounding.
It's very subtle, but when you put that subtlety in a mix with other musicians, that's where you start getting that, how's he getting that tone?
Yes.
That's where you start.
Yes.
That's where you start. There's something just a little bit different. that kind of separates you out from other things. For this one right now, I'm using both of these pickups along with the acoustic. So if I dial mine back, actually I had this one off to start with and this one up. So I got one off, one on. If I bring this in, then I'm a little bit crisper. If I turn the acoustic one off, then it's completely different altogether.
Yeah, it's
right.
Totally different sound.
Yeah. So now if I roll the acoustic back in, right? So then I'll just for comparison, turn both of them all the way down. It's what do you want to sound like? What fits the song you're playing? We use different tones for every song we play. I mean, some of them overlap a little bit, but you don't just get a pedal that you like and turn the pedal on and play that same tone for rhythm and lead and forever for a country song and a rock song and a blues song. And you can. I mean, to each their own.
Yeah.
Right.
To each their own. Yes.
But there's a reason there's different commodities out there, so to speak. That's a good word.
Yeah. Commodities.
Yeah, commodities out there, so that you can, adjust those tones.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, I think we've touched a little bit on the guitar, the body styles and tone, and we talked a little bit about our pickups and how we can use our volume and our tone knobs to kind of adjust those sounds a little bit. And if you're new to guitar, or you just for some reason you can't find that tone that you're looking for, maybe these next few videos we're going to do, maybe there'll be something to spark, an idea in your head of how you can go about doing that. Again, if you see us out, talk to us. If you've got a certain tone in mind, talk to us and we'll do the best we can. I mean, we don't claim to be experts in this at all, but our experiences with doing this, you learn a few things here, there, and yonder.
Yes.
And, that's how it is. But I think that's going to do it for us today.
Yeah.
And we need to go out with a little bit of a jam. I haven't played this one in a while, so.
It has been a long time. What do you want to jam on?
I don't know. Why don't you just pick a key and we'll do a little 1 minute thing, swap in, and.
All right.
And again, as we mentioned before, a lot of this stuff will come up that wasn't rehearsed at all. We just pick a key and have at it.
That literally just came straight from our heads.
So, but you find some interesting stuff that way. It's how we've written a lot of our stuff.
Yes. So again, if you see us out in town and you want to see us out at a gig, feel free to ask us about how we get our tone. We're all about helping people. And
we've been helped a lot, and it's time for us to do our due and give back a little. And we felt this was a good way to. If you don't have a chance to come see us in person, maybe you can catch one of these, and maybe we'll do some good that way. And that's honestly the reason me and you both decided to do something like this.
Yeah. Drop a comment if you like the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and you'll be notified when we put out more of these videos. And if you have something to say about tone, drop it in the comments.
We might bring up something we hadn't thought about. In the next episode, we're going to touch on the size of your strings, the size of your pick, and your play style. That's the three things we're going to touch on in our next video. So that'll be coming up. So look forward to that as well. But with that being said, I'm Kenneth Cope.
And I'm Lucas McCoy.
And thanks for watching Rhythm and News.
Let's groove it.